Coming up tonight on SLU News 22.
Smashing pumpkins from 10 stories high.
Puppets marching in D.C. for their rights.
Hurricane Sandy taking lives.
And did Superman quit his job?
Plus national news and weather live from the Bush Student Center. This is SLU News 22.
Good evening. I'm Amanda Honigfort.
And I'm Jill Swed.
Thank you for joining us this evening. During the student government's October 24th meeting, they commissioned the Administrative Grievances Ad Hoc Task Force. It is tasked with obtaining student input, gathering facts, and remaining up to date with the intentions of and actions taken by all representative bodies at SLU. Through this collaboration and attention to detail, the task force retains the ability to provide recommendation to the Student Government Association's Senate body.
As the official representative body for all students, SGA is also currently involved in the St. Louis University Blue Ribbon Committee, formed on September 28th. The Blue Ribbon Committee was created by the Board of Trustees and calls for collaboration between all stakeholders. In its current structure, the Blue Ribbon Committee is comprised of 6 individuals. SGA President Blake Exline serves as the student voice on this committee. This oversight committee is in charge of working with 2 groups to examine and provide recommendations for improving shared governance at SLU, one for faculty and one for students.
The Student Shared Governance Working Group includes student representatives from SGA, including President Blake Exline, SGA President of Academic Affairs, Richard Joubert, and 2 co-chairs of the Ad Hoc Task Force, Senators Ann Kesnick and Andrew McLaughlin. On October 26th, the Faculty Senate passed a motion to refuse to accept anything from the Blue Ribbon Committee. Notice any painted blue trash cans? No. They aren't an attempt to show school spirit. They're recycling bins. These additional recycling bins will be placed around campus and can take any paper, plastic, or glass products you need to discard. Jill is in the Weather Center now with our first forecast. Jill, is this cold weather going to continue?
You know what, Amanda? Unfortunately, it is going to stick with us. We are going to remain with some very fall-like temperatures. Over the next several days, pretty much the same thing all week. So if you've enjoyed those temperatures today, you have a good week for this week weather-wise. Looking at the official numbers for today, at SLU we reached a high temperature of 53 degrees. At Lampert, a few degrees warmer at 56, which put us 10 degrees above our averages of 64 and 45 for today. Looking overnight tonight, we are going to see temperatures running in the low to mid 40s throughout the evening. By 8 p.m., we'll be at 45 degrees under mainly clear skies. We'll see those clear skies continuing overnight. And by midnight, we'll drop down to 41 degrees. Looking in our extended forecast, we're going to see some very cool and clear conditions overnight tonight. Will be sunny and fall-like for our Tuesday. And ahead, I'll have your Halloween forecast coming up. Amanda, back to you.
Thanks, Jill. Pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns will meet a messy end this Thursday at the City Museum's 3rd annual Throw Pumpkins Off the Roof Day. The City Museum will provide a limited supply of pumpkins for visitors to hurl off of the 10-story roof. Visitors are also encouraged to bring their own pumpkins. Those who successfully land their pumpkins inside the dumpster win a free admissions ticket. The City Museum Chief Rick Irwin says, quote, "When we're done, the parking lot is covered in seeds and very slick," end quote.
Hurricane Sandy's outer bands began pummeling the East Coast on Monday with howling winds and torrential downpours and storm surges that authorities warn could bring widespread devastation by Monday afternoon. The storm has made landfall in New Jersey, and more than 765,000 electrical customers in 7 states have already lost their power. The National Grid said 60 million people could be affected by this storm.
People living from North Carolina to Maine could face flash floods, snowstorms, and power outages when the Category 1 hurricane makes landfall and collides with a cold front. President Obama returned from campaigning in Florida to Washington on Monday in order to better facilitate the response. He said that assets are already in place for an effective response. Sandy has already claimed at least 67 lives, 51 of which were in Haiti, on its path last week across the Caribbean.
While the East Coast faces Hurricane Sandy, Southeast Asia is facing a trail of death and damage as Tropical Sintinha sweeps through. At least 30 people have died in the past few days.
We'll be back with more national and international news. Don't go away.
We are all.
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 We are all. We are all.
We are all.
Billikens.
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 Welcome back. NASA announced Sunday that the SpaceX Dragon has splashed down in the Pacific Ocean after a 3-week flight to the International Space Station, completing the first commercial cargo mission to Earth's orbit. NASA Administrator Charles Bolden cheered the flight in a statement, quote, "With today's mission, we've closed the loop and demonstrated that American industry is ready to step up to the plate and meet our needs for transportation to low Earth orbit," end quote.
More than 1,000 puppeteers and public broadcasting supporters will descend on Washington, D.C. this Saturday, November 3rd, for the Million Puppet March. The march comes in response to Republican presidential candidate Mitt Romney's remarks in which he called for the elimination of funding for public broadcasting. In addition to the march, they are planning a digital march. People can send in videos at millionpuppetmarch.com about why they support public broadcasting, and those videos will be uploaded to YouTube. They're also encouraging all Twitter users to tweet their support using the hashtag #MPM2012 at 1 p.m. Central Time on November 3rd.
Malayla, the Pakistani teen who was shot in the head by the Taliban earlier this month for calling for education for all girls, was reunited with her family Friday. Malayla is recovering slowly but steadily. Her doctors say she is lucky to be alive, but her prognosis is excellent. She does not seem to have suffered any significant brain damage and is now able to breathe on her own.
Continuing from last week, the death toll among the feud between Buddhists and Rohingya Muslims in western Myanmar rose to 84. The violence began on October 21st and has since calmed. However, as a result of the violence, the majority of homes were completely destroyed, leaving residents homeless, scared, and untrusting of any sort of authority. Ashok Niyam, UN humanitarian leader for Myanmar, spoke of the many tragedies, stating, quote, "It is critically important that the government ensures that the rule of law prevails. Further, to ensure security from here on, the government has aided the area declaring a state of emergency." The President's office announced Thursday that manipulators behind all of the violence will be found and persecuted.
The San Francisco Giants won the World Series last night. It is the second time that the Giants have won the World Series in 3 years. This was a great victory for the Giants, who struggled to make it to the World Series, but once they made it, they swept the Detroit Tigers to win the title. San Francisco plans to coat the streets with black and orange paint on Wednesday during their World Series parade.
Coming up next, your workweek forecast. Stay with us. And welcome back. Meteorologist Jill Swede is here with us now for an extended forecast. Jill, what's the week going to look like?
You know, Amanda, it's going to be a lot of the same over the next several days. We're going to be under the influence of high pressure over the next several days. But first, looking outside right now, we're sitting at a comfortable 48 degrees. The air is quite dry right now with a humidity level of only 38%, and the winds are light this hour, coming out of the north. at 2 miles an hour. Now, the reason why we're going to see a lot of the same over the next several days throughout this week is because we have a high pressure system which is down across into the southern portions of the Mississippi River Valley. It's going to be creating quite a ridge of high pressure which is going to be blocking us from any influence of any weather systems, although it is going to continue for us to see some cooler temperatures than we have been seeing lately. But starting on Thursday, it's going to shift a little bit to our west, which is going to allow for some more breezy conditions to arrive on Thursday, and it may bump the temperature up closer to 60 as well on Thursday. And as we were talking about earlier, Hurricane Sandy has made landfall across southern portions of New Jersey. She is going to make a track across Pennsylvania and then hook to the right across upstate New York over the next several days. She will be diminishing as the days progress to a tropical storm and then to a tropical depression. They could see rain totals across the northeast as high as 6 inches by Friday, and we'll also see some storm surges as well for the coastal regions in New York and as well as Baltimore and Virginia. But first, we have to look at St. Louis tonight. We're going to drop down to a cool low of 37 degrees, under mostly clear skies. We may even see some localized frost in the outskirts areas. Then for tomorrow, we'll see a high temperature of 56 under mostly sunny skies. It will be breezy at times, so maybe have to hold on to your hat in the afternoon tomorrow. And then for your Wednesday, for Halloween, we'll have a high temperature of 57 under mostly sunny skies. And then for trick-or-treats, for some of you that may be going out and enjoying the Halloween holiday, by 8 p.m. we'll be at 47 degrees, still under mostly clear skies. And for your extended forecast, we're going to see, as I was mentioning, a lot of the same, with sunshine and temperatures in the upper to mid-50s. Throughout the week, we will see some clouds arriving Wednesday evening, which will help our low temperatures not quite dip down quite as low. We'll have a low temperature Wednesday night of 40 degrees. And then by the end of the weekend, for the start of the weekend, we may approach 60 degrees. And we'll continue to see that sunshine as the week progresses. So it looks pretty great if you enjoy those fall-like temperatures. And for me, I don't really mind. I mean, it's the end of October. It's Halloween almost. So I don't really mind it at all. I hope you don't either.
Yeah, it's a little cold, but it's much better than being too warm.
Exactly. I mean, we don't want 85 degrees anymore. I mean, I don't know. The leaves are turning. They're almost falling off the trees. I'm ready for fall.
It was a little odd, yes. Thank you, Jill,
You're very
for
welcome.
your forecast. Next, an unusual box office phenomenon and Clark Kent's new job, with among more. Stay with us. Welcome back. After debuting at number 2 with $19.5 million, Argo, Warner Brothers' latest Oscar contender, dropped 16% last weekend to $16.4 million. This weekend, the movie achieved a new feat. It climbed to number 1 while bringing in $12.4 million, about 25% less. Argo was the first movie since True Grit to manage this. True Grit did so in early January of 2011.
Titan, the U.S. Department of Energy's top open science computer, is going live on Monday with an upgrade that will likely make it the fastest supercomputer on the planet. At 20 petaflops, or 20 quadrillion calculations each second, Titan outperforms the DOE's Sequoia supercomputer, which has held this crown since June.
On Friday, Microsoft released its newest version of Windows, Windows 8. It features a completely new interface designed to be used on computers, smartphones, and tablets. Microsoft is hoping to compete with the growing sales of iPhones and Android devices and make their computers more appealing to college students who often choose Macs.
Splash Data, which makes password management applications, has released its annual Worst Passwords list, compiled from common passwords that are posted from hackers. The top 3 passwords, 123456 and 12345678, are hardly surprises, but some new additions include Ninja, Jesus, Mustang, Michael, and Welcome.
One of America's favorite superhero alter egos, Clark Kent, is quitting his job at the Daily Planet in the most recent issue of the Superman comic series. In issue number 13, which will be in stores on Wednesday, Clark Kent quits his job in front of the entire newspaper staff due to a heated discussion. The writer of the comic says that this will bring a whole new storyline to the classic comic and will challenge Clark both personally and professionally. Wow, that is new.
That is new. I mean, we're not going to think of Clark Kent the same.
No.
He's not going to be the same Clark Kent.
Yeah, he's the newspaper writer that moonlights as Superman.
I mean, and who doesn't want to be a newspaper writer and Superman? I mean, that's a great job. Great gig.
Pretty good, yeah. Wow.
And, we have some really good weather coming up this week as well. If you like fall-like temperatures, we're going to see temperatures in the low to mid-50s throughout the week with lots of sunshine, so get out and enjoy it. And maybe by the end of the week, we'll even reach 60 degrees. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so it'll be very nice. But for all of those people that may have family on the East Coast, we are keeping an eye out for you as Hurricane Sandy has made landfall. So do stay tuned to all your computers and all of your weather updates that will be provided throughout the upcoming week. So that's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you for tuning in.
Don't forget, you can always get the latest news online at SLU-TV.edu or follow us on Facebook and Twitter. We'll be back here next week at 7 p.m. See you then.